Welcome back. Today we're getting spicy and answering the question, should you be posting sermon clips on your social media? Stick around, I think the answer might surprise you. Today's video is brought to you by me and my company, Axio Social. I started Axio Social to help churches just like you use online tools like social media to reach people in your community and grow your congregation. If you would like to learn more about working with me, there's a link down in the description where you can find more information and ways to get in contact with me. Back to the video. Listen, for most churches, the entire staff is built around the idea of creating this weekend experience, from audio engineers to worship team to kids team to welcome teams. All that stuff comes together to create this awesome experience on the weekends. And because of the amount of effort that goes into it, it can be really tempting to take what you've created there on the weekend and then slice it and dice it and make that be a lot of the content that you're putting out on social media. This week, I wrote an article about the ARC framework. It is the framework that I go through, or the process that I go through before I publish content. Now, that could be social media content, it could be website content, all kinds of different content. It really helps me understand what is it that I'm trying to accomplish with this, and then am I publishing it on the correct platform? So let me tell you just a little bit more about that framework. The first part of the ARC framework is the letter A, which stands for audience. Who is it that you're creating this content for? Now, that sounds like a really easy question, but I want to challenge you to really try and take this a couple levels deeper. Let's go through an exercise. Let's use a sermon clip that we would be posting online as an example. There's a few different audiences you could be posting this for. You might be posting this for someone that actually saw the service this weekend, saying more of like a highlight reel, hoping that they engage with it, right? Or you might be posting it for someone who missed this weekend service, kind of enticing them to go back and watch it. Or a third option for the audience for that sermon clip could be people that have never even stepped foot inside your church before. Depending on which of those audiences you choose, it really should help dictate the particular clip that you're posting, where you're posting it to, the description that's going to go along with that content. The second part of the ARC framework is the letter R, which stands for response. What is the action that you want someone to take? What is the response that you want them to have based on this content that you're publishing? Are you asking someone to sign up for an event? Let's use that as an example. It might be just an informational post that says, hey, this is when the event's going to take place. But you might also have some additional responses that you want. Let's say there's a sign-up process for that event. Okay, how do I do that? Do I go on a website? Is there a link in this post that I need to click? Do I need to leave a comment? Do I need to go into the church, sign some paperwork, whatever that might be? But you need to think about what is the response that you want someone to have based on this content that you're publishing, and then make it very, very clear what that response is. Call it out, ask it, be very upfront about it. Making your desired response super clear will dramatically increase the likelihood that someone's actually going to do it. Our final step in the ARC framework is C, which stands for channel. Think of it like this. Where are you posting your content? What channel or platform are you posting it to? And then what does that have to say about the type of content that you should be posting? Some examples of this are Instagram, the type of photo that you're going to be posting. Square or really slightly vertical photos are going to do way better on Instagram than, let's say, widescreen 16:9 photos, because they take up a larger portion of the screen as you're kind of scrolling through your Instagram feed. Another example might be limitations in how long the content can be that you're posting. For example, YouTube Shorts is 60 seconds, Instagram Reels is 90 seconds, TikTok can be a lot longer, but those are examples that where you're posting it is going to have an impact on the type of content that you should be putting there. I want to encourage you to go a little bit deeper than just the straight up restrictions that platforms might have on the particular content that you can post, and start to think about what type of content performs best here. Typically, there's going to be similar characteristics between high-performing videos or content on any particular platform. Think about the difference between YouTube videos versus TikTok videos. Length is going to be pretty different. The energy is going to be pretty different. You can get away with much longer, more drawn-out videos on YouTube. That stuff's not going to perform very well on TikTok. So what happens when we go through this process with sermon clips? So let's start with audience. We talked about it before. There's really kind of three main audiences that you could choose for sermon clips. One, someone who saw the service, which you're kind of reminding them about a highlight of the service. 2, someone who missed the service but is already part of your church. It's kind of like a get caught up kind of a thing. And the third audience would be someone that doesn't go to your church at all. You're hoping to kind of entice them to come visit your church based on this content or this clip that you're posting. All 3 of those options are perfectly fine, but which one of those audiences you choose really should dictate the 60-second clip that you're taking out of your sermon. The person that's never gone to your church before is likely going to interact with something that's a little bit different versus someone that's been part of your church for 10 years. Maybe it's an inside joke or something like that, right? Or might use language that your church body is very familiar with, but new visitors might not understand. The second step is response. What is the desired response that you want someone to have with this sermon clip? Is it just consume it and enjoy it? It could be share it, or it could be come join us for service next week, kind of enticing someone to come visit next weekend. Again, the audience you chose in step 1 really should kind of help dictate which of these responses you're aiming for. Our final step is C for channel, where we're posting this sermon clip. So let's say we're taking a 60-second clip out of our sermon. Where are going to be the best places for us to post that? Instagram Reels, TikTok, Facebook Reels, YouTube Shorts are going to be kind of the very best platforms for you to take a clip like that and try and get it out in front of a lot of eyeballs. Each of those platforms is a vertical video platform, which is going to provide us with some challenges. I'm willing to bet almost all of you are recording your sermon in a horizontal video format, and you should be. That's really what is going to be displayed up on the screens in your church. That's really great for your website or YouTube afterward to play the entire video. So what do we do if we need vertical video out of that? We've got to take this tiny little slice out of the middle in order to get our vertical video, which means most of the video around it gets cut up and thrown away and cut out of the actual process. Now, if we didn't frame it correctly in the first place, this could be just straight up impossible for us to do. If we're too zoomed in, for example, or if we have low resolution on our original video, it's pretty tough to cut off this much of it and then be left with something usable. Now let's talk about our time limit. We are restricted to 60 to 90 seconds, depending on which of these platforms we're going to go with. 60 seconds if you want to kind of spread it across all of them. Your sermon that you're crafting each and every week is meant to tell a story, to take people on a journey over the course of 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. You've got story arcs in there. You've got different sections of it in there. The entire pace of that sermon has really been created for that 20, 30, 40-minute story arc that you've created. It is very difficult to find 60 seconds inside of that sermon that makes sense on its own without the context of the rest of the talk. But let's say you did find 60 seconds that it was good and it really kind of made sense without the rest of the sermon to go with it. What does the energy level of that clip look like? If we look at the videos that do really well in vertical video platforms, they are very high energy, very fast-paced editing designed to catch your attention and keep you from scrolling on. That sounds a little bit different than how you're probably interacting with your congregation during a typical message or sermon. Think about the difference between a movie trailer and the actual movie itself. The trailer is fast-paced, cutting from angle to angle very quickly, lots of high action, versus the movie itself has intense periods in it, but they are more spread out. There's more of a story arc there. It's meant to take you on a journey over a longer period of time. If we took a 2-minute clip from a video or from a movie and decided, hey, that's our trailer, we don't need to do any more editing to it, it's probably not going to perform that well. Vice versa, if we took the high energy pace of a movie trailer and did that for an entire 2 hours, that would be a horrible movie. Everybody would be just exhausted at the end of that movie. So what would I recommend? I personally think for most churches, posting sermon clips on their social media is the wrong strategy. There's so many hurdles that you've got to overcome between framing and cropping it the right way, finding 60-second clips that make sense without the rest of the talk, and then hoping that there's enough energy in that 60-second clip to really grab someone's attention. If you've got a really high energy speaker or a really high energy pastor on your staff, cool, awesome. Maybe this will work for you, but I think for most pastors, the pace that they go during their sermon, the energy level that they're bringing in any 1-minute chunk of that doesn't really lend itself well to high-performing content on these vertical video platforms. So if you're not going to be posting sermon videos for your Reels, your TikToks, and your Shorts, what should you be posting? Here's 3 ideas that are a little bit lower effort that will have a much better chance of performing well on those platforms. The first idea is a 60-second sermon recap. I want you to take all of the energy that was in that 20, 30, 40-minute message and smush it down. Tell someone what they missed. You can use this to point people towards your website to get caught up if they missed the service, or you can use this as an invitation. Again, go through that ARC framework that'll lay all of that out for you. The second idea is a service experience walkthrough. You've likely seen one of these videos. It's pretty easy to shoot because it's basically 100% B-roll. You can shoot it on your phone, double points if you've got a gimbal. That's going to help you out quite a bit. But I want you to show someone via recording on your phone what it's like to attend a service at your church. Walk through the doors, go get coffee, drop your kids off, go into worship. What does worship look like? What does all of these things look like? If you shoot all of that, compress it down, it does a really good job of conveying to somebody, this is what the experience is going to be like when you come visit our church. The third idea is simply an invitation video. We've covered this before, but people, before they come and join your church for the very first time, they're gonna check out your social media profiles. So if they show up there and they see a video of you inviting them to come this weekend, awesome. That's the perfect content for them to see on your social media platforms. You don't have to overthink this. It can literally be a selfie style video just saying, hey, this is who I am. I'm the pastor of this church. I would love for you to come join us at service this weekend. If there's something specific that you want them to do, like meet me at the welcome center or meet me at the front door, something like that, kind of let them know. But in general, these are very easy videos to create and do a really great job of welcoming new visitors into your church. So what do you think about posting sermon clips to your church's social media account? Let me know in the comments down below. Have you found ways to amp up the energy and get really high performing sermon clips? Awesome. Share it with everyone down below. Do you think this is a horrible idea? I want to know that too. Make sure and leave a comment. If you've not done so already, make sure and hit that subscribe button. I post videos like this each and every week to help you grow your church one visitor at a time.